Will admitted to me that he had sex with Bryshere Gray, but it was consensual, right?
He said, you know Will raped me. You know Diddy made me suck his penis. You know what's going on. You know Charlie made me suck. Well, I'm going to give you a chapter from the book since I owed you something.
Okay.
In the book, in one of the chapters, it talk about mentorship. So I grabbed my husband. I said, listen, I don't know. I didn't know what happened. Nothing. I was just asked to come.
Is this true?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna let you about to see if it's true from the paperwork. Oh, we telling something that got paperwork involved.
You know, he's surrounded by a whole lot of strength. He's surrounded by a whole lot of love, and all he has to do is add discipline, and he gonna be all right.
It's like Uncle Will, you know, who is best to give you advice, and it's Will Smith, and I'm getting so much good advice.
A lot of stuff is about to come out about Will, Jada, and Charlie Mack. It is gonna be unbelievable.
They're both bisexual. They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
It's no secret in Hollywood that Jada hates me because I have a strong relationship with Will, and I do my own thing.
Why don't she hate Dwayne?
I can't answer that question.
Why don't she hate Dwayne Martin?
Well, she's gonna love anybody that treats her like she's a god, right? When you're a narcissist and a sociopath like she is, and I'll get into that.
You know, but when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and picked out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
Say what now? Not Will Smith's ex-friend and former assistant, Brother Bilal, exposing Will for forcing Bryshere Gray into having relationships with him. This explains why Bryshere is now getting his back blown by other men on camera. Apparently, after Will was done with him, he discarded him and completely ran him out of the industry too. And as if all this wasn't bad enough, Bilal also alleges that as soon as he started spilling all this tea, Jada got pissed and threatened to have him unalived. In fact, as we speak, he and Jada are in court battling it out. And baby, the receipts that are being put on blast in this trial are nasty. Okay, so Bilal first came for Will when he showed up in a heated interview on Tasha K's show. When I tell you the messiness was at an all-time high, I'm not even exaggerating. Bilal was exposing Will to the ground as his life depended on it. He made some graphic claims about the time he personally witnessed Will Smith engaging in anal activities with Dwayne Martin in Dwayne's dressing room. He said Will was bent over a couch as Dwayne drilled in and out of his hole as if he were digging for gold.
I opened the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up, killing him. Murder, like murder. It was murder in there.
Now, as you can imagine, the things Bilal was saying had people gagging, so the interview went viral very quickly. And guess what? Within just 9 hours of it being up, Jada lost her mind and tried to threaten Bilal into silence with a lawsuit. She also accused him of attempting to extort her and Will before he came out with this interview. But baby, she was better off being quiet, because this just pissed Bilal off even more. He appeared on Tasha K's show again for part 2 and dragged Jada for filth, and even dared her to go ahead with the lawsuit if she isn't scared of him, going all out with everything he knows.
Before we put out the interview, all we put out was a clip that went ultra viral. Okay? Yeah. Everybody in the world got this clip. It was trending for days on Twitter, okay? Before the interview comes out, what shocked me is Jada is doing her book promotional for Worthy.
Yes.
She goes to the Breakfast Club and she sits down and they ask her about you, but they can't not ask. Like, it's so huge.
Right.
And to my surprise, she answers.
It's ridiculous, right? And it's nonsense. And this is a person that tried a money shakedown that didn't work. We're gonna take legal action.
The reason Will responded, the reason why Jada responded, because they know it's true. Will's never responded. And they responded in less than 9 hours.
They did. That was a fast response.
That was because he know what I saw in that dressing room. He know other things that I saw. She did all this to try to scare me, but I fear no one but Allah. Jada, listen, in 2 weeks, if you don't sue me in 2 weeks, if Tasha K will have me, I'm back here and I'm dropping evidence, period. You said I extorted you. You said there's a money shakedown. You said a lot of things about me. And you know that the things that you said were untrue. Let's get into a little bit more of it. Jada runs Will, period. Me and her at war. I'm gonna put Will to the side. Will is to the side. Me and Jada, I will say this because I know you're watching. I know Karen Tense is watching.
Who's Karen Tense?
That is her PR person for years.
Okay.
Right? I know they're watching. Jada, you're a bald head liar and you're a drug addict, right?
Oh, God.
You told the world that you were going to sue me. As of yet, and you said you're going to do it swift. It's been over 2 weeks. So Jada, I'm giving you 2 more weeks to sue me. If you don't sue me, this is what's going to happen. All the parties, right? And the people, the men that you hit with dildos, I'm naming names, right? All the salacious stuff that you have done and hurt other people, I'm naming names. You assassinate my character. You say I extort you. Well, extortion is criminal. Like, I would be in jail right now if I tried to extort.
Anyway, people seem to believe what he is saying, because it's not every day that someone who has allegedly been in Will's inner circle is exposing him. I don't know about y'all, but I've never seen a liar get this brave when he knows a lawsuit is on its way to him. Usually, people who lie will just go quiet, but not Bilal, honey. In fact, he went on another podcast called Make It Make Sense, and he had even more to say. Everything he said here was him pretty much calling Will Smith Diddy Jr. So, according to Bilal, Will allegedly lures young men into his circle by promising them a mentorship. But next thing you know, these men are allegedly bending over and taking it from the back, while their careers remain right where it's at. When he is done, he either allegedly passes them over to another industry executive to have their fun with them, or uses his power to silence them for good. He even said Will literally admitted to him that he essayed Bryshere. And apparently, there is paper to prove that the alleged essay happened.
Long story short, when I'm in Chicago, this guy's acting erratic. Like, I mean, crazy. He's getting stopped by the cops. There's male prostitutes involved. There's mental illness involved. There's drug use involved. And I'm really trying to see what happened to this guy. And one day he said, you know what happened. You know that Will R-worded me, or however y'all kind of say it on YouTube. You know that Diddy assaulted me, and you know Charlie Mack made me suck his private part, right? And I'm like, whoa, this was a full admittance. And he's going, and I'm like, I didn't know anything. He's in the corner, balled up, snot, so much sweating and pain that blood is coming from his nose, right? And this is me and him in a conversation. And he was like, please don't tell him. Please don't tell him. Right? Will admitted to me that he had sex with Bryshere Gray, but it was consensual. Right? So I'm like, okay, so now it's starting to make sense, because I would have never believed that the way this guy's acting, something had to happen. So now Will told me, and this is going to be in paperwork and everything, right? So when Will told me that he did have sexual intercourse with Bryshere, he said Bryshere did ask him to stop. Will said he completed the act, then stopped. Right then and there, when a person say stop, that means stop. Period. So I do believe that Will Smith assaulted Bryshere Gray. Charlie Mack and Will gets a lawyer for Bryshere, and they try to get me under NDA. I tell Will, I'm not signing, I don't even have an NDA with you. How am I getting an NDA with him? You understand what I'm saying? So I hire a lawyer, right? Mm-hmm. When I hire the lawyer, he comes back and say, listen, this is the best I can do. He said, I'm going to have y'all do a mutual NDA, meaning that Bryshere can't tell people that you know that Will and Diddy actually assaulted him. And I want to say the R word, but I know we're on YouTube. Then you can't say nothing about him. So I said, okay, well, as long as he stopped telling people that I know what Will and Diddy did to him. You understand what I'm saying? Period. That was the problem. So there's legal paperwork, and it's all going to be, and you got to follow this case. All that's coming out in court.
And since we are on the topic of Will allegedly using mentorship to trap these unsuspecting men, let's talk about Bryshere Gray, because it's been rumored for a long time that this is what he and Diddy did to him too. And to make matters even worse, Bryshere's tricking mom Andrea was allegedly in on it too. So the story goes, Bryshere's former manager back in his days on Empire, Charlie Mack, supposedly got approval from Andrea to hand Bryshere over to Will and Diddy for career mentorship. This made sense, because at the time, Bryshere was actively pursuing both acting and music, so having two of the best in both worlds was exactly what he needed to get ahead. Even Bryshere thought the same thing. From the interviews he did at the time, you could tell that he really thought Will and Diddy were going to get him to the next level. If you were to tell him about it after Will and Diddy were done with him, he would turn into a raging substance addict and start sleeping with men on camera for chicken change on Twitter. He would have probably laughed in your face.
He's with my man Charlie Mack, so Charlie was with me every step of the way. First out the limo, so Charlie has been with me, 30 years coming up in the business. So, he's surrounded by a whole lot of strength. He's surrounded by a whole lot of love. And all he has to do is add discipline, and he's going to be all right.
It's like Uncle Will, Who is best to give you advice? And it's Will Smith, and I'm getting so much good advice. I got my first acting role, Empire, and it's changing my life. And it's like, I'm listening from the greatest, and it's like making me well prepared.
So according to Jaguar Wright, the very last thing that Will was doing to Bryshere was offering him mentorship. And remember what I said about Bryshere's life going into the gutter right after his mentorship with Will ended? Well, an example of that was a 2022 incident during which he was arrested and found guilty of aggravated assault against a woman he was hooking up with at the time. But this wasn't his first run-in with the law, because back in 2020, his wife was rescued by a man at a nearby gas station after she had gone there asking for help. People didn't even know he got married till this mess came up. She told the police that Bryshere strangled her. When the police pulled up to his house to arrest him, he refused to come out of the house. It took hours of negotiations between the SWAT team and Bryshere to get him to come out of the house. And when his mugshots were released, people couldn't believe how much of a mess he looked like.
Of Bryshere Gray, one of the stars of the hit show Empire. Tonight we're seeing hours of new video from his July arrest that ended with his wife flagging down police and telling them the actor had assaulted her for hours inside their Goodyear home. The bizarre jailhouse interview lasting for 2 hours as they try to piece together a chaotic chain of events.
And as if things couldn't get messier, Jaguar came back again, right when all this was happening, and gave even more details about what Diddy and Will allegedly put Bryshere through. She claims that the reason Charlie was even able to sell Bryshere to Will is that his mom, Andrea Mayberry, was also in on it.
Yeah, I'm talking about Bryshere's mom. I'm gonna kick you in your in and I'm gonna go to work North Philly style. And Charlie, you happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell? I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. You can see that came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago State to be ready for filming She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is, she wasn't nothing but a drug dealer's whore. That's all she ever was. She went from dealer to drug dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy. And I hope anybody that bought it asks for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your son's gay.
Jaguar also claimed that after Cassie filed her lawsuit, Bryshere was also in talks with lawyers to file a lawsuit against Will and Diddy, but he was allegedly threatened and had to pull back from it because his life was in danger. Jaguar even went as far as claiming that there is a secret tape of Justin Bieber, Will, Jaden, Diddy, and Bryshere having a freak-off, and she is one of the few people who has seen it.
They trying to slay him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
Okay.
I really hope none of that baby oil was used on those kids. That would just be in bad taste. Baby oil on babies.
You can't say that the flavor camp was sponsored by Johnson & Johnson. You just come on. Come on.
Starting to sound that way, ain't it?
No.
All that talent, and she let Charlie tune that boy up on knowing that he was bipolar and had ADHD. What kind of mother would do that to her son? Turn him into a prostitute so you could pretend to be something more than what you are, which is nothing more than a Philly whore. You're a whore. You're a bigger whore than they're making your son out to be, that's for sure. Because he didn't have no choice. You was down by all. I'm sorry. The Bryshere conversation for me is not easy. Because I came to Bilal and I asked Bilal to help me save the kids, and all he was worried about was his fucking book.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Don't nobody care about these kids. Don't nobody care about these kids.
Now, when it comes to the exact lawsuit she's talking about, people believe it is the $50 million lawsuit against Diddy and Will, which Bryshere was previously reported to be working on. This suit was revealed by a blind item, and it read, "I suspect the soon-to-step-forward male victim of sexual assault by this A-list mogul will not be the last man to do so. Sean Diddy Combs." Oh, and remember what I said about Bilal having alleged receipts of what happened between Will and Bryshere? Well, I wasn't playing. He said Bryshere told him that Will allegedly essayed him, and that Diddy even made him give him mouth action.
You hold them down because he was like, Charlie Mack is not going to be able to be there because him and Charlie had something else going on. I rob in Chicago for Empire. It's a damn mess. It's no other way to put it. This dude is going crazy.
There have been rumors for a while now that Will has a weird obsession with controlling his kids. Jaguar Wright also made another disturbing allegation, claiming that Jaden moved out of Will's house at 15 years because he could not take it anymore. And in case you're wondering where Jaguar got all this stuff from, she said Bilal told her everything.
Who knew that your husband was doing things to boys and did stuff to your son and you ain't do shit about it? Bilal told me everything.
Their good friend who
Bilal told me, Jada. He told me that you knew Will was f***ing your child. Yes, he did. Wonder why he left that out of his Tasha K interview.
In that interview, he said a lot. He said a lot.
He said everything but the thing that was important. That he know that Will Smith, Jaden, he Bryshere and he Meek Mills.
Oh, and remember the Tasha K interview? He went back there again. And this time he was more focused on dragging Jada. He called her a raging sociopath and put her on blast for allegedly allowing Will to do all these things without lifting a finger to stop him.
It's no secret in Hollywood that Jada hates me because I have a strong relationship with Will and I do my own thing.
Why don't she hate Dwayne?
I can't answer that question.
Why don't she hate Dwayne Martin?
Well, she's gonna love anybody that treats her like she's a god, right? When you're a narcissist and a sociopath like she is, and I'll get into that, you want to be worshipped.
Anyway, right after this, he filed a $3 million lawsuit against Jada, accusing her of threatening his life after he refused to be silenced by her. He alleges that Jada confronted him in the lobby of the Regency Calabasas Commons in September 2021 and threatened him by telling him that if he continued telling her personal business, he would end up missing or catch a bullet. His lawsuit also claims that Jada demanded that he sign a non-disclosure agreement or else. She also allegedly followed him to his car while continuing to issue verbal threats. He later began receiving threats from Will and Jada's circle, which only made him more afraid. Anyway, people had their thoughts about all this, like this person who said, Jaguar Wright said some young men would run screaming out of the Smiths' house. Even their own kids won't go over, according to her. Another person said, the way he described Bryshere and his conversation, oozing from the nose and begging you not to tell, clearly fearful of the perpetrators. And you ran and told. No wonder Bryshere crashed out. He had no one to trust. But now I want to know your thoughts. Do you really think Will did all these inappropriate things to Bryshere Gray? And do you think Bryshere will finally come out and give us the rundown of what happened? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.